Alaskan red salmon, also known as sockeye salmon.
Gotta keep her away from the salmon. She loves salmon. I don't like it when it doesn't work, so. Hello friends, and welcome to This Alaska Kitchen. We are going to be dealing with some salmon today. I want to make some smoked salmon. Mark's sister Sarah came and met us at the lake the other day, and she brought some smoked salmon that she made, and it was like amazing. So she sent me the recipe that she used, and we're gonna try and recreate the magic that she made. Hunter went fishing yesterday with Grandma and Grandpa Hamm and brought home some beautiful salmon that we can now process. Now, we freeze a lot of salmon to eat throughout the year. We can salmon with liquid smoke to make it taste like smoked salmon. This is just another way to preserve it and enjoy it. It's gonna take probably 48 hours from start to finish to get this salmon done. Mark has always done the smoking of the salmon, so this is kind of a new thing for me, but I'm gonna follow the instructions and take you through the process. So first thing we do, we need to make our brine. And then in the background, you may see Bennett has decided to make some breadsticks, Olive Garden copycat breadsticks. He's trying to give those a try today.
I made Texas Roadhouse before.
We'll see how these turn out. Okay, so we're guessing about every three fillets is about 5 pounds, and we have 10. So we're gonna do like 1.5 servings of the salt and brown sugar mixture. We're gonna go with 6 cups of brown sugar and 1.5 cups of salt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Yeah.
6. I get a little bit more because I did. Okay. Okay, Hunter's got the salt here. Just gonna add it to our sugar.
8 cups of Gatorade.
In the past, Mark has done this smoked salmon in like larger pieces, but you kind of need to make sure that you have similar sized pieces so that when you're doing the smoking, it goes at the same time. So this recipe says to cut into strips, and that's what my sister-in-law did. But I also was doing some research on my own, and the person just cut to the skin, did the brining process, and then cut them into strips just so that it's a little bit easier to handle. So I think that's what we're gonna try. And we're also gonna attempt to get out some of these bones, but it's gonna be tricky. We're gonna do our best. We're gonna cut down to the skin. We're gonna keep it in like 1-inch increments, boys, okay? That way the brine can get down into it. So, but if we do this, the bones will just be in this one section.
Nice.
And it's getting me some tweezers, but just following along, the bones go right down here, and I'm just trying to get them out.
Oh yeah. Yeah, these are Alaskan red salmon, also known as sockeye salmon. I caught them in a river, and yeah, it was really fun catching them.
Okay, Bennett has taken on the job of removing the pin bones. I don't know if that's what they're called. For some reason, the bones. Okay, and I'm gonna start brining. I think we're gonna have to take watermelon out of a container. It says to use plastic or non-reactive stainless steel when brining. We just wanna make sure we're doing it in the right thing, but it has to fit in the refrigerator, so we're figuring this out. Okay, so we have these slits. Usually you would just have little pieces. We're keeping it in bigger pieces just for easier, but we're gonna make sure we get the brine mixture down in all the little cracks. Ready, Hunter?
Are you gonna cut it and put it on the bottom?
Nope, this is a dry brine. It will react with the salmon, and it'll get really wet. So we're gonna just make sure we get it in all, you gotta get down in all these crevices. I read like 5 different recipes, and they all had different ways to do it. Some were wet brine, some were dry brine, so. But I'm trying to follow this recipe since my sister-in-laws were so good. Sugar and salt. Except for Mark in the past did make it a little too salty, and it was hard to. We're just gonna stack them in here. Add them.
I think I'm done. You want to feel that?
Yeah, I can check. Gotta keep her away from the salmon. She loves salmon. All right, here is our brining. It turns to liquid very quickly. This will be liquid within a few minutes. It's going into the refrigerator for 4 to 5 hours, and then we'll mix it up, mix it all around in the brine, and then do it overnight. And Bennett is working on his breadstick pieces.
How big is an 8-inch log?
Okay, Bennett's putting them in the oven to rise one more time. Okay, I'm cleaning up the kitchen from the salmon. Hunter did one job, Bennett cleaned up his stuff from the bread, and now I'm cleaning the cutting boards. We're dividing it up. I'm almost done, but these just beeped. They're looking so good. It's Bennett's first time making this type of bread. He just likes to try random things, so I was just Google for him. I will include this recipe down in the description below if we think it's a good one. I think it's going to be. It's looking good.
What that?
Okay, gotta finish the dishes.
They look good, but these ones, some of them are done, but
They're all done. They're good.
they're not brown.
They're good.
Okay. Not yet.
Is that 2 or is it 1?
Okay, these have been in for a few hours. I'm gonna do some rotating to make sure everything is getting a good brine. I'm actually shocked how much we fit in that. Good morning, friends. We are going to tackle this salmon. The next step is to dry it out. It has brined. It is no longer like limp. It has become firm. We rotated it several times. I'm thinking that we're gonna, I don't know if we dry it first. All the tutorials, they're already in strips. I chose to leave them in big pieces. So at some point we need to cut them apart. I'm not sure if now is the best time to do it or after. I just thought it would be less, I don't know. I don't know if I've done it right, but we're gonna get it drying out. Because we used that dry brine instead of a wet brine, from my research, you do not have to rinse them off. You just have to squeegee them off with your hands, which I think we'll probably do over by the sink. So our smoker only has 4 rows. So we are gonna have to do this in multiple batches, which means we'll be doing it all day and all day tomorrow. But the nice thing is you can cure these for like 4 or 5 days. So leaving them in the cure in the fridge is not gonna hurt them at all. Now that I'm doing this, there's definitely things that I would do differently and different supplies that I would make sure I had on hand, which would be like little containers that I could, I don't know, smaller pieces, but we're learning.
No. It was like, ooh.
I think I want to cut them apart so that we make sure that they get, it's not like touching other pieces. since I can only do 4 trays at a time, I'm gonna cut these ones up and continue to let them brine, but then they'll at least be ready just to put straight onto the trays. All right, these pieces are all ready to go back in the refrigerator. And then we gotta wait an hour or so for the ones that are on the table to dry out. And we gotta keep Miss Luna, our kitty, away from them. She's doing pretty good so far. But she's very curious what we're up to with this yummy smelling salmon. It's gonna be so good. One thing to note, my son Hunter did spend over an hour what we call scaling the fish using like a butter knife or just like a kitchen, like one of these kind of knives. Going along and getting all the scales off the fish and all the slime off the fish before he brought them home. That way you're not dealing with slimy fish. So keep that in mind. They've been taken care of really well. He did a really good job filleting them too. He's like, oh, it's so hard, I'm still learning, but they looked beautiful. He did an amazing job, and we're gonna have some really good fish because of it. We did go ahead and put a lot of flatter pieces together on one tray. That way, this tray will probably be done much quicker than these ones with thicker pieces. It's all a learning process. Salmon, you know, goes like this. It's not just flat all the way across, so you get these different thicknesses of pieces. And I had, you know, a 12 and a 14-year-old with me. We were trying to keep them in 1-inch strips. It didn't always happen, but that's okay. I was so glad that they were helping me. We're just gonna do our best this time and learn from it, and then we'll be ready to tackle it again. Sometimes the problem with these kind of projects is you usually only do them like once a year. And so like when you pull everything out again, you feel like you're learning it over. Hopefully this video will help me remember some tips and tricks the next time we do this, because like I said, sometimes you feel like you're learning it from scratch when you start canning again, or all these things that you maybe don't do as often. Luna, I know it smells so good. I'm gonna have you hang out in your room today. Just in case. Okay, Luna is in the laundry room with her bed. I set it up so she could look out the window. She has her food and her litter box and her water in there. We're just gonna play it safe because I got the other things I need to do, and I can't sit here and make sure she isn't snacking on the salmon. Okay, the fish has a nice shiny skin kind of developed on it now. According to my research, that makes it so that it kind of has a film on the outside and the oils do not escape and dry out the fish while it's in the smoker. It is a very rainy day today, so we're having to do it in the carport with the smoker. Hopefully that'll work. It's probably gonna take a very long time because there's so much moisture in the air, but we've got the fish ready, so we're gonna do it. We've got thicker pieces and thinner belly meat pieces. We're gonna put the thicker ones towards the bottom because it's gonna be hotter, and the thinner ones towards the top.
Fill this with some water.
So our smoker uses little pellet, it's like patties. They go in this little hopper here, and then every 30 minutes it feeds a new one into the smoker. Our goal is to keep it around like 165. We don't want it to get super hot. So that's the challenge, is to not let it get too hot and dry out the fish. If you have like a big chief smoker, I think it only gets to 165, which would be ideal because then you don't have to babysit it as much. So we'll see how this goes. Keeping it to temperature. And this is not like, you know, this is kind of a trek from the kitchen down to here. So we'll do our best to keep an eye on it. We're using alder briquettes.
Supposed to push it every 20 minutes.
Oh, and you have to like make it do it?
No.
that forces it. Otherwise, it does it on its own. I'll stick one on there right now and have it burn. Make sure it's good. Let's hope it's all working.
Project realities. We like flipped a breaker when we plugged it in. Like, is it on? Is it not on?
Yep, now it's working.
Okay, now it's starting to heat up. Kind of wishing we had a second one so that we could keep this project going. Or maybe just a simpler one, a Big Chief. This one works, but you have to babysit it a little bit more. It was way higher.
It will.
All right, friends, I'm being reminded why I think I have smoked in the past using the smoker, and I got really frustrated, and it's happening again. I think it got too hot, too fast. I think it's just, this smoker is very tricky. I went in and took a nap, and I should have been watching it more carefully. But I got a baby that has a cold and kept me up all night. I brought her out with me, though, because she fell asleep. That's also be fair. Gonna see what the temperature is. $154. Okay, I just can't handle running any more amazing salmon. So we're going to round 2. We're gonna do it tomorrow because it's gotten too late. I'm gonna go gather up the other stuff. That smoker just gets too hot too fast and ruins it. It's still gonna be really tasty and we're still gonna eat it all, but I don't like it when it doesn't work. So fingers crossed, tomorrow will go much better. I'm just gonna let it brine overnight, which they said is okay. And then I'm going to try again tomorrow. These belly meat ones actually did okay. Probably because they were the furthest away from the heat. You see how all that white stuff came out of it? I can never remember the name of that stuff, but that was my indicator that it got too hot too fast because that escapes instead of staying in. So these pieces still taste really good, but they're just dried out. That's what we're hoping to avoid. Okay, I'm gonna finish this, come back tomorrow morning. We're gonna try again using the Big Chief. All right, friends. Mark went outside, opened the Big Chief, and has it running right now, kind of seasoning it. You gotta let it run one time with the smoke to season it and burn off any chemicals or anything. Now I get to start the next batch. I'm really excited because even with the first batch being overcooked, I couldn't stop eating it. The flavor was so good. So we're gonna use this rack here behind me. I'm gonna use the mats from the other one just so they don't stick. I actually have 5 rows this time instead of 4, so maybe we can get it all done in one more go. And it's just a simpler machine, and I'm looking forward to that. It only stays at a single temperature. You can't go up to 400 degrees. Hopefully this is the ticket. Yes, I am dressed for church, so I'm gonna do my best not to get covered in salmon. But we can always change if I need to. Okay, so he says to squeegee them off. We're gonna do that again.
Hello, Miss Violet.
Okay. maybe have her go play for a few minutes while I finish this.
Okay.
I didn't have nearly as many as I thought, so I'm gonna spread this one out a little bit more so that everything has a little less on it. All right, friends, this has been in front of the fan for several hours. Just got Violet down for a nap. It's still very rainy today. I probably should have a raincoat on, but that's okay. Just barely sprinkling right now. I'm gonna get this out into the smoker. I just hope this works better. Although the other ones have been extremely good, So the video that I watched about smoking salmon, which had such great information, I'll link it down below, suggested you get the top loading one because it's just easier to be able to just like set it down in, which I've been really happy because then I could just have them on this whole thing while I was doing the fan. So we're gonna get them down in there. I gotta add some more alder chips, and then every 45 minutes for the first 3 hours, I will clean out the chips. And then after that, we'll just do just the heat instead of the smoke. And we're going for about 6 hours. Well, at least at 6 hours, we'll check it. And then we may need more time, but the minimum is about 6 hours in the Big Chief because it keeps it at about 165 degrees. Gotta go walk over and dump out these ashes in the fire pit because I don't have a metal bucket. You need some sort of metal bucket, not like a plastic bucket. I'm gonna go dump these out and I'll be back to start it up. Hopefully this is good. 3 hours in, we're gonna go check. Mark did replace the wood chips for me a bit ago. Let's see. Yep, we could use some more. Ooh, that's looking really good. Looking much better than last time though. Need a hot pot holder. Keep cooking, Big Chief. I believe in you. Okay, been all day doing salmon again. Dad said he was out here working and I smoked him out the last time I added wood chips, but we're gonna check these salmon strips, give them a try. Ooh, these ones look amazing. They didn't have all the white stuff coming out. All the good stuff stayed inside. Let's just do a quick test to make sure the internal temperature, but I can't imagine it's not at the right.
Oh, it's fine. It's cooked.
Yeah, it's
Fine,
good.
Daddy.
These ones look so much better.
Oh,
It's not dry. It's not dry and it stayed good. Good. Maybe cooked a little too long again, but it's good. Smoking did better. It did. We didn't get all that white stuff coming out. Okay, let's take it inside. Taking my salmon for a walk. All right, this is yesterday's. You see how the white came out? It just kind of cooked too hot, too fast. This is today's. There's the comparison. So good. So good. Well, friends, thanks for spending time with me as I turned this beautiful red Alaska salmon into delicious smoked salmon. I still got some tweaking to do, but I'm happy that I did it. I'm happy that I got that big chief smoker. I feel like it worked a lot better, and I'm excited to do it again the next time we get salmon because like the whole family is obsessed with it. We were just eating it so fast. I can't wait to put it on salads with some cream cheese on a bagel. This stuff is like candy. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again real soon for more of This Alaska Life. It's the next day. I cannot stop eating the salmon. It's like when I went in the refrigerator, it kind of like, the ones I thought were dried out are now even just like good and moist again. So good. Like candy.